Buenos dias. This is Kaipacho with the weekly Pele report on a windy March 2nd of 2016. I'm down here in San Jose, Costa Rica, and somebody asked me to say where I am in these reports. So this is where I am. I'm in front of a flower right now in my front yard. So anyway, where I am, well, I'll tell you, the moon is in Sagittarius. Yeah, and it is going to be there. Today is Wednesday. Tomorrow, Thursday, it goes into Capricorn. Goes all the way through Capricorn. Friday, it hits Pluto, squares Uranus, trines Jupiter. Saturday, she goes into Aquarius, hanging out in Aquarius there, right until Monday. Monday. She goes into Pisces, catches up to the sun for the total solar eclipse on Tuesday, March 8th, 18 degrees 56 minutes of the sign of Pisces. Total solar eclipse, setting the tone, the only total solar eclipse this year. It's kind of at least setting the tone for the next 6 months. And a solar eclipse, this one is on the south node of the moon. It's not a north node eclipse, that's going to come, 6 months from now. It is a south node eclipse, which makes the sun the dominant, powerful force in the eclipse, because the moon will be on its own south node, which is considered the weaker point, yes, of the planetary energy. So, I'm going to be talking about, obviously, the report today. We're going to be talking about this total solar eclipse in the sign of Pisces. Mercury goes into Pisces on Saturday. So then we've got the moon, Mercury, Neptune, the sun, Chiron, and the south node all in the sign of Pisces. So we're going to be talking a lot about Pisces today. But what else is going on? Besides Mercury going into Pisces on Saturday, at the same time, Mars is going into Sagittarius. So here we have a situation where Mercury is square Mars. Yeah, at the 29th degree of Scorpio and Aquarius, and then on the same day they both change signs and Mars goes, from Scorpio into Sagittarius. Mercury goes from Aquarius into Pisces. Oh my God, they're traveling across the cusps together at a 90-degree angle. And we can talk a little bit, just about these cycles. And at the same time on Saturday, we have another square. It's not just Mercury square Mars, it's also the Sun square Saturn. Sun square Saturn. Sun in Pisces, conjunct Neptune, okay, and Chiron, squaring Saturn, which of course, as we have, the eclipse is on the south node of the moon. It is a solar eclipse. What does that mean? The sun is conjunct the south node of the moon, squaring Saturn. Put 2 and 2 together. Saturn is square the moon's nodes. Oh my God, and this is a long-term thing going on for the whole month. Saturn square the nodes. So there's a whole earful of astrology for you. Now I'm going to sit down and just talk a little bit more about what all that astrobabble means. I hope it's not too windy and you can hear me, because I've got a lot to say today. Number one, this is a day for true confessions. Because it's interesting, I have always, in these Pele reports, I have really shied away from advertising and talking about, a lot of the things that are going on, for me. And it's been brought to my attention that, people may want to know. So I am doing I'm doing a lot of different things. I give a lot of different workshops, and I'm giving one April 2nd to 9th in Nosara, Costa Rica, for you last minute folks. That is like really a super powerful. This is my first time really coming forward using medical astrology combined, okay, with Ayurvedic technology. Denise Kirpal, I'm co-teaching with her. And we're going to take your astrological birth chart. Let's look at Mars is associated with the adrenal glands. You could have adrenal exhaustion, okay? Okay, and that adrenal glands, you know, and Mars has to do with the solar plexus chakra. Okay, and the solar plexus chakra, you know, has a lot to do with like camel pose. Okay, you know, like opening the solar plexus. And so we can form Kundalini Yoga Kriyas. If you've got Mars rising, squaring Uranus, okay, in your natal birth chart, you've got adrenal gland issues and problems and conditions with your nervous system. And camel pose is going to be specifically tailored. You know, there's one yoga pose that's like super good for you. So I'm gathering together these people. There's a couple spots left at this retreat. We're going to look at our charts intensely from a Virgo health, nutrition, you know, and medical perspective, and delve into the real combination of spirit matter. Yes, of my soul spirit intention comes through my mental attitudes and Mercury and my emotional needs and the moon, and comes into my physical body. And I'm going to be coming up with original, personal, unique yoga kriyas, yeah, for each person at the retreat. And it's like you're going to, and I like to do this for all the chart readings. I do chart readings every day. I would love to give people, you know, a yoga routine based upon their natal birth chart. This is like where I feel, you know, yoga can really blend with astrology as a healing art. So this retreat is like really super awesome. And then I'm doing another one in Guatemala. And this summer, I'm going to be in Greece and France and Portugal and Norway. I'm doing a bunch of retreats over in Europe for all my European friends. I hope to see you there. Some of those, there's still space in those also. What else? The raffle. For the Love of Astrology raffle is still going on. And what I want to do is spill the beans. Why am I doing this raffle? The proceeds from this raffle, okay, are actually going to a Costa Rica astrological convention. The first one that I want to put together. I want to bring the whole dream team down, okay, and over from Norway, people coming up from Australia. I got Rick Levine coming and Maurice Fernandez and Sol from... I got all these dream team members and all these amazing astrologers. Patricia Walsh is coming, and I got to reserve this huge, the Flamingo Resort. It's on the beach, on Flamingo Beach here in Costa Rica. It's going to be in the spring of 2017. So the proceeds of this raffle are going to create the dream team. It's the Astrology Rising, co-creating the future. It's going to be an amazing gathering, and I hope it includes you. And so I'm making that the first prize, is a free astrology convention in Costa Rica next year for this raffle. And this other part of the raffle, I'm giving away a free reading. 7 other, astrologers on the Dream Team are giving away free readings. Maurice Fernandez is giving away a free course. I'm giving away T-shirts and classes and videos, and oh my God, there's 25 prizes worth over $2,500 going on with this raffle. So if you haven't had a reading, or you know somebody who wants a reading, or you want to, win that first prize and come down to Costa Rica, and get some astrology live in person on the beach, go to newparadigmastrology.com. If you can make it to the Astrology and Yoga for Health next month, go to newparadigmastrology.com. There, I did it. I advertised. I made announcements. I infringed upon the spiritual nature of the Pele report, the banana report, for business purposes. But actually, it goes pretty well in line with some of the things I want to say today. If I can remember this all and put this all together, it'll be a freaking miracle. There's a couple of different things. Number one, okay, Sun square Saturn. It was November 29th that the Sun conjunct Saturn at the 8th degree of Sagittarius. And the Sabian symbol, okay, for that has to do with the deep, fiery depths within man, humankind, that are transforming the soul unbeknownst to the ego. So now, November 29th, 3 months later, the Sun comes around for the first quarter square to that Saturn. And it's conjunct Neptune. And it's in Pisces with a total solar eclipse. And this underworld, right, the Pisces is the collective unconscious, boiling up, emerging out. It's very super powerful. The Sabian symbol for the total solar eclipse is a teacher teaching his students, the passing on of knowledge from the guru to the student. It's that part of the cycle where there is like the baton in a relay race. The wisdom has to be handed down from generation to generation through teachers to students to, it's like this, time and Chronos is Father Time. So Saturn squaring this total eclipse. We have to look at evolution occurs through time. Maturity and growth in the third dimension is intrinsically tied in, okay, with these changing cycles of evolution. And one of those interesting other things that I want to tie in again is that Mercury is now square Mars. Well, let's go back to the source of that. And that was a conjunction back in Cancer, last July 15th, in the middle of Cancer, Mercury conjoined Mars, and the Sabian symbol for that is a sumptuous, luscious feast where people feel a sense of fulfillment through physical, it's the materialization of spiritual fulfillment. It's like the keynote for that Sabian symbol. So this is very interesting to me, and maybe to you. Yeah, as this goes on, right, so Mars is, Mars and Mercury have gone from Cancer, now Mercury's gone all the way around to Aquarius Pisces. Transcendence, ascending, yes, non-attachment, the cosmos, totally impersonal, outside of like my ego fulfillment. Whereas Mars has moved up to Scorpio, the last degrees, critical degree of Scorpio, 29 degrees Scorpio, which is about power and mastery and how much I can control and how much I have. And there can be power struggles. And there can be this desire to hold on to and to cling to money, orgasm, people, relationships, job, authority, positions, reputation. Hold on to this stuff and get that sense of fulfillment, of filling myself with more. I always think of Jabba in Star Wars, the big round, yeah, god of the underworld, right? He was the mafioso leader. gorging himself with hedonistic material stuff and desires and gaining a temporary sense of fulfillment through that. But Mars in Scorpio, like I spoke about before, always wants to go deeper and deeper and deeper. And now we've got this whole stellium of planets moving into Pisces. And it's about letting go. And this brings me to like the source of what I really want to talk about today. You don't know what you got till it's gone. And you can't let go of something until you know that you've got it. And I'm talking about deep ego issues around the loss of control. We all, the ego wants control. It wants safety and security for the physical body, for my separate egoic self, and that separation, that egoic separation, okay, inhibits the full experience of love, union, and merging that Pisces and this total solar eclipse is seeking, longing, and wanting. It's like the return to paradise, or the return to source, or the return to oneness. So we've always got this, inner thing going on. I talked about it before, Jeffrey Green talks about in evolutionary astrology. The desire to separate from the source and the desire to return to the source. Well, this total solar eclipse is happening in Pisces. And Pisces is return to the source of creation. Letting go of all personal, egoic, separating desires. And so this is a time. But the other thing about the 12th house Neptune in Pisces is it is so unconscious. It's the collective unconscious. And our personal unconscious ties us in with this collective unconscious. And so I want to say, before we can let go of something, we have to see it. And this is what's so beautiful about Mercury in the late degrees of Aquarius. And Venus is still in Aquarius. Because Aquarius is going to, through that third eye, it's going to see it. And what am I talking about? I'll use myself as an example. And just what I did today. I'll tell you what. I got a bunch of stuff in Leo. I got all this Leo going on. What's my greatest fear? That people aren't going to like me. I want everybody to like me. That's just kind of a Leo thing, And so, I'm afraid that if I talk about money or business on the Pele report, people are not going to like me. And so that's just, I could just say, oh, okay, I'm not going to talk about money or business, on the Pele report because, because what? It's not spiritual. So now we have one belief, okay, is that people aren't going to like me if I talk about money, okay, because it's a spiritual report. Underneath that belief, okay, is a belief that money, okay, is not spiritual, okay, right, And under that belief, okay, can be other, beliefs, unconscious beliefs, around needing to be loved or liked because maybe I don't love or like myself enough. So it's like I can't let go of my fears, okay, or of my egoic sense of, I don't love myself enough. Because I need you to love me, okay? It's like, well, if I was fully in love with myself, I wouldn't need anybody to love me. I'd be fully happy and content. This is Pisces. Pisces doesn't need anything. Pisces is passive being, no doing. Pisces is the dream state. It's meditating. It's being in stillness of mind, heart, and body. Totally passive. It's not reaching, longing. And Virgo. Let me talk now a little bit about Virgo. Virgo can be about crisis. and crisis. And I talked about crisis, I think, before, right? You know, this crisis consciousness can create this sense of urgency. And somebody just emailed me about this urgency matter. Whenever something is urgent, it's a sign of ego. It's a sign of, you know what? You know, I'm attached to a result, a goal, an outcome, filling a need, you know, getting something or finishing something or overpowering or controlling something. It's urgent. Whenever you feel a sense of urgency, I encourage you, heal it. Chiron and Neptune in Pisces for years, healing this sense of egoic urgency. This planet was here long before you were born, and it's going to be here long after you die. Chill out. Pisces says, chill out. But these crises that we can have, and this is a time of crisis. 2016 can be a year of crisis. I've talked about it. It's the year of purification. Purification of desire, which has to do with identifying. And this is where we come into, you can't let go of something you have not identified. Well, Jupiter and the North Node in Virgo is saying that now is a great time to identify our urgent matters, our egoic needs and desires, and to see that we are more than that. I've said it many times that it's not about killing the ego or getting rid of the ego, but removing the sense of I am my ego to I have an ego. So my ego manages my physical sustenance, but I am an infinite spiritual being. Well, we're going to have financial crisis, personal crisis, love crisis, bank crisis, economic crisis, family crisis. I mean, think of all the crises that you can possibly have. And a lot of these crises will always bring up for us. It is our unconscious soul intention bringing up to us where we feel a sense of urgency, where we are attached, where we are in our ego, so that we can see that attachment, we can see that fear or that need, which is based upon separation, that I am not eternally one with the source of all creation, and then I can let it go. So in a way, it's becoming aware of the self-delusions. It's becoming aware of how we lie to ourselves and deceive ourselves, so that we don't have to acknowledge that we are, control freaks, insecure, afraid, greedy, hungry, whatever. I was just, confronting some of my own hungers and needs and desires, of the lion, the carnivore that wants to devour and take unconditionally whatever it wants. We all have this Aries, Leo, animal, ram, lion in us. This is this fire. And that Saturn in Sagittarius, which is also fire, is putting morality and ethical behaviors into the stew of desire. So the mantra for today, yes, is when I am truly able to let go of all the ego, I'll feel the flow of the river and be one with all of nature. When I am truly able to let go of all the ego, I'll feel the flow of the river and be one with all of nature. It's like I'm not, it's like let go of ego. I had to explain that with this whole Pele report, okay? It's like you have to see the ego, you have to see the dragon, and it's about taming the dragon through loving acceptance. And then it's not going to devour us or control us. It's like in Mankind Project, there's this process called who's driving the bus? What's driving the bus? You know, is it the fear? Is it, you know, the inner voice of your mother, the inner voice of your father, you know, some religious or guru or, you know, or, you know, sexual desire, emotional need, you know, what, you know, insecure. What is making your decisions? It's like, so this Pisces, you know, this time period, this total solar eclipse and this whole year of 2016 is becoming aware of our unconscious needs and motivations and desires so that we can acknowledge them, own them, and rise above to a place of moral, ethical, spiritual, awakened choice making that is independent of all that, but includes all of that because we've seen it. And now we know it and we acknowledge it and we take it into consideration when making our decisions. But it's not making the decisions for us. Yes, we are the archer riding the horse, controlling the horse, directing the horse, directing that arrow. This is our Saturn in Sag till December of 17. So that's what like this time period is really all about. Becoming aware and then letting it go. Yeah? And when you let it all go, you are in the flow. And it's happening. And the crisis evaporates. The crisis dissolves. Because you feel and you know that you are in the flow of a great, huge, large, massive life river, the river of life, of source, of the Milky Way, the river of stars, is just like so intelligent and so beyond our ability to know and control. We have to feel safe, surrendering to the spiritual life, river of life. Wow. Enough. Enough is enough, man. Yeah, I don't know if you get it or not, but it's like you got to feel into it. It's kind of like, you know, hard to put into words. So, one more time, the mantra that if you just like repeat it in your meditations and breathe into it and use that mantra, you know, this week and through that total solar eclipse. When I am truly able to let go of the ego, I'll feel the flow of the river and be one with all of nature. May you flow with the river of nature. Namaste. Aloha. So much love.